Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. It's the final flurry, the final 6 maps of What's Map for Cities Skylines 1, featuring 5 of the BonBon buddies and 1 other creator who you will know. We'll get to them at the end of the week. So yes, it's the final flurry before Cities Skylines 2 comes along, and no, I don't know anything about a map editor in Cities Skylines 2. Somebody out there might have the information, but I haven't as yet. I'm going to have a little treat on the day that I download the game. I'm going to download it ASAP as soon as I can get it, and we'll be streaming live a lot next week. So if you haven't already subscribed and hit the notification bell, now's the time to do it, because unlike some of the other people, I haven't had any early access. I'm going in there completely virgin, and I haven't been able to say that for a long time. Yes, the map editor, if there is one, it's got a long way to go to get up to the standard of the maps that we've seen so far this week. The first 2 maps we've seen this week have been exceptional, very different from each other, and today's map, it's going to be slightly simpler. Doesn't make it a worse map by any shape at all. One of the top creators in my eyes. But yes, you don't need a powerful machine, but it's also not detailed to the nth degree either. I think you might like it. Definitely playable. One thing I would like, if you could play that like button, you know where it is, right there. One click's enough to win the like button game. Go on, give it a try, and of course subscribe. Notification bell I've already nagged you about. Okay, what have we got today? Today it's St. John by Maverick. We are in Canada. Canada, that's the place. If you head out across the water to the right there, you get to Nova Scotia. There's your start square. Looks pretty decent to me. Flat enough to get started. It's a relatively flat map. There is some undulation, but it's not one of those maps that's going to scare most players. Resources are good and strong across the entirety of the map. Some very strong fertile areas specifically, and of course lots of forestry. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour, you want to do some fishing, and there might be some tuna. I don't see it though. It doesn't matter. Tuna doesn't really break a map, does it? Or the lack thereof. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, no DLC required. Actually, no assets required either. We do, or is there? I can't remember. We'll go and check out the one-click collection in a second. I'm pretty sure it's just the theme mix. Help me, somebody remind me. Oh no, there are some things. I take it back. There are some things, including some networks. Should I start recording again? No, I won't. I'm gonna carry on from here. Off to the workshop. What do we need? There are a few bits and pieces. It's not super heavy. There are a few bits and pieces, but we've got things like the animated waterfall, tree and prop control, procedural objects. There are, yes, that should have been a big clue to me, shouldn't it? We have a railway replacer, intersection marking tools operation as well. And there's that. That's what I remembered. I remember the link collection. I didn't remember the main collection. There we go. It's got a few bits and pieces in the collection. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad theme. It's not. It's a very nice theme. It's not as dramatic as yesterday's theme. All right. So this one's got a more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a nice cozy feel. Yesterday was really, really beautifully dramatic. Whereas this one just sits nicely in the background. And I think sometimes that's what you need. Okay, I'm not saying that this is by far a better theme, or it's a different theme. It's a theme mix, of course. It's different from yesterday's. And it's just not one that's going to... It's not going to win any beauty contests. It's just going to sit there happily, just minding its own business in the background, doing what it needs to do to make your city be the star of the show. This is where I'm going with this one. The city is the star of the show, not the theme, and certainly not the map. The map wants to be the star of the show, doesn't it? Our first intersection here, it's all very nicely done. Catenaries are gone, but I've still got the wires. I haven't worked out how to get rid of the pig-in wires. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, we've nice rail bridge, nice road bridge, That does head down. In fact, we're going to come back this way a little bit later on. So if you're wondering what's off on that turn off there, we'll be finding out a little bit later on. Well, we're going to head on down towards the start square. So yes, Maverick. What a great creator. If you haven't seen the cinematics from the 81 collaboration, theirs is one of the more the prettier builds. You know, well detailed, well planned, well thought out. I'm not going to single out anybody for the non-pretty builds. I'm just going to say there are those that at the end of watching it you go, well, I remember that one, and well, that one happened to be Maverick's amongst. There are 2 or 3 others as well that really stood out for me across the build, but yeah, Maverick's is one that I won't forget. Or Gerard's actually, but Gerard's was well, I added a little bit of water, but only because Gerard was so helpful in getting the whole thing to come together. So there we go. How many shout-outs does Gerard need? Plenty. Anyway, it's a nice map, okay? We are currently heading, I believe, south towards Maine. If we turn around and go the other way, we're heading off towards... I've forgotten where it was now. But what's on the map of Canada? Well, north. I remember there was a town called Sussex. I remember that because Sussex isn't very far from where I am, so in the UK, which is a different Sussex, but probably where Sussex, Canada got its name from. From the South Saxons that settled in southern England about 1,000 years ago. In fact, probably a bit more than that, wasn't it? They were before the, so maybe 13, 12. I don't, when did the Saxons settle over here? I should know this, shouldn't I? I should know my British history. Yeah, it was more than 1,000 years ago they settled, and yeah, certain parts like the Sussex South Saxons. There you go. Wessex was the West Saxons, and Essex was, you got it, the East Saxons. There was no Nossex because apparently Saxony doesn't have any northerners. I don't know. Anyway, are you enjoying the flyover? Because I'm just letting it do itself. It's not a map that really says, look at all these exciting things, which again isn't a bad thing. Sometimes you just want a map that's ready to build on with some nice interesting little areas, and there are. We haven't looked at them yet, we're just following the highways. There are some nice little interesting areas. Here's one of them. Like, we could carry on the highway a little bit further, but we will stop here. We've got the little inlet on the right there. The highway carries on all the way off into the distance, as you'd expect it to. But Start Square is a key thing, a key element to any Cities Skylines map, and ours is here. This area here is ready cleared. It's nice and flat. We've got some nice, harbour pre-cut areas. Pre-cut is the word I was looking for. Pre-cut harbour areas. It's all lovely. Also, we have a rail line. We're not going to follow the rail line for a great distance. There is a little bit of glitching going on here, and I'm sure this isn't the case for Maverick, but this is how the map. I always show the map how the map loads. I could fix that and make Maverick look an even better creator, or the actual creator that they are, but I always show the maps as they load for me. Maybe these are deliberate. Maybe this is the old rail bridge and they're just the remaining pillars of the old rail bridge. We're going to sell it as that. I suspect it's actually glitched out, but that does happen. That does happen, and we can't do much about it. The rail line is fine. In fact, as you'd expect, it's a relatively flat map, and you've got a creator that knows what the heck they're doing in Maverick. So there's not going to be anything stupid going on with the rail. We have some nice little bridges. They're well done. We've got procedural objects as well, which we're not going to explore too much today. But you'll notice some areas and you go, how do they do that? And if you've got no idea how, they use the mod called procedural objects, which is a way of grabbing objects that are in the game and basically mucking around with them, changing the shape of them within the game. If you've not done it, I do have a tutorial. I'm not going to link it, but do check out my tutorial playlist. You'll find the tutorial for procedural. It's an old tutorial for procedural objects, but still give you the absolute basics to get you started. Right, it's lakes, because Canada has a few lakes, I understand. Like all of Canada. It's a fight between Canada and Finland for who's got the most lakes. I suspect Canada wins by virtue of its much bigger landmass. But yes, some very nice lakes going on there. We also have this area over here, completely undeveloped. This is no highways, no networking or anything like that going on over this side. So if you want to access this big old bridge or a tunnel, or I would suggest probably ferries, because ferries are very nice indeed, or very nice indeed. Oh dear, not a new pun, not this late. Here's where you could put like one end of your ferry right there. It seems like it makes some sort of sense. And if we have one directly opposite, that would make even more sense. And oh blimey, we've got two, and it's the mainland, so you'd expect to, because it's going to be busier than the island, which would only have one. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So anyway, we've got plenty of buildable space. Let's have a little look at the river. Now, this river is a lot more spectacular than some of the rivers we've seen today, or this week. Today, because I've recorded all of these today. This is my third one today. My head's starting to collapse. But this is beautiful. Okay, again, not decorated to the nth degree, decorated to the correct degree, I would say. We're not going to overboard on any of this. And then from here, the lake goes into a little wetland area and then into the river, which on the whole is very nice indeed. Do you like the way I started that with on the whole? You know that means that there's going to be a problem somewhere, don't you? Yeah? Can we just enjoy the really good bits first, okay? It's a really interesting shape. It's a really interesting, a good tree detailing and grasses detailing along the outside of it, making it feel varied and alive. All of the things that you want. Then we've got a nice little bit of and I know Maverick's he's going to say something about here. It's going to be here that's wrong. No, it's not here. This is perfect. Procedural objects working here to create a little pipes through to the weir, and then through a little waterfall going on there. There's probably the animated waterfall in there. I didn't go in for a close-up because I want to keep heading down. You can go and explore that in your own time, everybody. If you want to look at that in more detail, load up the map. Don't forget to like the map as well, because that's what we do on this channel. We like people's work, okay? And then as you head on down into the wider meandering parts of the river, there are a few trees that have their trunks just dabbed into the water. Now, is this a problem? The answer is, generally speaking, no. Depending on the tree. Like that tall, spindly tree there, just gone past it on the right. I'm not so sure about that one. That one's got its roots in the water. That one's got its roots in the water. They wouldn't like it much, but they'd probably be okay. They just don't want to be a long way into the water, because that's where you get your problems. Anyway, the river ends up going into the bay here, and there are no trees in the water in this bottom part of the river at all. Nothing to see here. Oops. Okay, right. If I just stopped a few yards short, then that would have been perfect, right? I did promise we were going to come back here and have a little look at this turn-off from this intersection. Do you remember I promised that? With the bridge here and the rail, and yeah, I promised that. I am also going to say that this map, it doesn't let you down in the same way that yesterday's map and the map before had these turn-offs that went down to somewhere very exciting. This is a map that doesn't give you exciting, it just gives you buildability. And this little turn-off here, it goes down to a dead end by the rail. Maybe you want to put a railway station down there or something like that. It gives you buildability. It gives you a very exciting intersection. Okay, excitement is in the intersection. Right. We have some nice wetland areas. These are kind of exciting. I like wetland areas, but when they're done well, and this is done well. We've got one of these, one of the piers that just like creeps its way out in, gives you something you can just do a bit of fishing or bird watching. I imagine it's more of a bird watcher's point. You go over there with your binoculars, you know, and have a look at the birdies. Going cheaply and wading or whatever birds do. I don't know. I might eat them. I don't watch them. Anyway, down here to the harbour areas, the pre-cut harbour areas. We've got another little pier going on here. We have a little roundabout on the end. We saw that with a footpath the other day. We did. And now we're seeing it with the pier. Everybody's into their roundabouts. Or roundabouts, as I tend to say. Heading down this causeway to the little island. All of this, again, this is based on the real-life St. John. The real-life St. John. You check out the map. This is all very much inspired. It's not an exact one-to-one replica, but it's very close. Alright, it's very, very close. I say it's not an exact one-to-one because this causeway here, having had a little zoom in on it, does have a couple of what appear to be almost like passing points. There's one on the right-hand side, which is double width, but it doesn't have to be an exact one-to-one. It just has to be a strong nod. I think anybody from the St. John area would look at this map and recognise it as being their home area. And that's the biggest credit you can give to a map. Very nice work. Gonna have a little look at this cutting. It's the rail pushing up against the road with the rocks along here. I thought I'd just picked it out because there aren't many areas that are worked to this kind of level, and where they are, I thought I'd showcase them. We've even got the little the rail causeway going across the lakes there as well. It's just a very nice little simple area. All credit. That would have taken quite some time to do, and it's been done very well indeed. And then we got this double intersection with the parklow and the trumpet all connecting together, giving us a very nice look as well. The standards are high because it's Maverick. It's not a map that's going to win any awards for being game breaking or anything like that. It's a map that's going to win awards for people building beautiful cities on it. And then those cities will win awards for being beautiful because they've got a very nice canvas to work from. But what do you think of it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. No, we're not doing the monthly map. I'll be getting into my old routine there. No, we're just voting for fun. We're just voting for fun today. Go and put your vote up. It's on the community page. And let's have a look at what I think of it. Because I like this. Okay, I can't go through 5 stars or anything like that on any single thing. Because there's no one thing that really jumps out as being just stupendous. But it's good, solid standards, which is 4 stars. In terms of aesthetics, it looks like the area. It's clean, it's tidy. There's nothing really elevating it, but it's elevated enough to be in 4 stars. I'm going to go for a medium-ish low 4 stars, but it's fine. Detailing, there's not really too much wrong with it. It's definitely 4-star standards. There's nothing to elevate it to the high end of that, but I can push it into 4 stars. Let's get over that gold line, shall we? And then finally, gameplay potential. Looks pretty playable to me. All right. That's all I can say to that. I'm going to go right down the middle on the 4 stars on that one. 4 stars down the middle for St. John by Maverick. Yeah, it's 12 stars, which normally means a BonBonB seal of approval. And today is no different. I'm going to do exactly that. 3 in a row. Can we make it to the end of the week with a clean sweep? There's only one way to find out. Join me tomorrow when we check out another BonBonBuddy map. I can't promise it's going to be another good one because I've not seen it yet. It might be brilliant. It might be the worst thing in the world. Who knows? Let's discover this together. And you and I together can use the words of the day in the comments to prove you're part of the 20 and out elite. That elite group of people that make to last 20 seconds. And of course that elite group of people on the right who are part of the BonBonBuddies. Why not join one of them as well? I'll see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching.